Hey everybody, this is Marcel Irnie Racing AMSOIL Synthetics. You may only know me through IrnieracingNews or motorcycle racing, but I've been an AMSOIL rep or AMSOIL dealer since I started motorcycle racing back in 2007. When I discovered the mistruths of the industry, the oil industry, the lubricant industry, like so many others, big tech, big pharma, everybody's lying and doing false marketing. Now, AMSOIL is a family company. There's no shareholders, which means there's no buying and selling shares for maximizing profits and making worse products and worse service along the way. And so the reason I discovered and researched and found AMSOIL is as I was looking for the best synthetic motor oil when I first bought my first race bike, an ex-factory Kawasaki race team with a modified motor. And by researching the oil industry and what is synthetic, I came across the mistruths that the term synthetic is only a marketing term not based on its components, and that includes API Group 3 mineral oil. So the term synthetic is just a marketing term, and it doesn't classify anything except for it's got to be an API Group 3 mineral oil, which means it's not a chemically derived synthetic term. So AMSOIL is the only one that stuck to their guns when that term was made. And this all started because Castrol and Shell and Mobil. So Castrol is purchasing its base stocks from Mobil, and all chemically derived base stocks from Mobil. And then they said, hey, we want to try to maximize profits. Let's purchase our mineral oil base stocks from Shell and refine them more with a term called hydrocracking, which is high pressure water processing of the mineral oil, trying to remove the impurities. And then they called it synthetic, and so it's costing them 1/3 of the price as opposed to chemically derived synthetics like polyalpha olefin, chemically derived in a laboratory. Everything is created. There's no supplement from the ground, as an example. And so Mobil sues them for false marketing. That's not synthetic. And they go in the lawsuit in 1999, and Mobil loses. The judge determines that the term synthetic is not based on its base stock components, and it's just a marketing term, like I said, for API Group 3 mineral oils and above. And so then Mobil and along with Castrol before that, and everybody in Shell all switched to selling mineral oil synthetics. They stopped selling chemically derived synthetics, sold mineral oil, called it synthetic, and now the whole customer base, the consumer, is getting non-synthetic being labeled as synthetic, so the consumer has no idea they're being bamboozled, and they're making more profits on it. And then you have AMSOIL, this family company, been around since the early 1970s, no shareholders, no influence, there's no profit-driven shareholding, buying and selling bullshit. And they stuck to their guns and continued with only chemically derived synthetics, often polyalpha olefin base stocks. And AMSOIL is actually the inventor of synthetics. If you didn't know that, they invented synthetics for the consumer market because the inventor of AMSOIL, his name was A.J. Amatuzio, and he died 5, 6, 7 years ago in his late 90s, a healthy guy as well. And he is the first person to market synthetic, chemically derived synthetic for diesels, trucks, farm equipment, gear oil, transmission fluid, and greases, like the whole product line. And he was a World War II pilot, and he was like, we're using chemically derived synthetics in these jet engines, which is mandatory because you need something thermally stable at a high temperature. And he's like, why can't we have this in the consumer market? And so he started AMSOIL. His idea was in the 68, 69, and he got the business running in 1972, I believe. And when the lawsuit happened in 99, well, no, we're not changing our principles. We're going to create the best product for the long extended drain intervals and the most environmentally friendly. It's way less volatile, so 2% volatility versus 4 or 5% volatility of your mineral oil, which burns out at high temperature. And mineral oil, it's going to have large and small molecules of all different sizes, along with some other impurities you could call the triangles, etc. And the small molecules are going to burn up at high temperature, leaving the larger oil molecules behind. And that's why your oil actually thickens up. When you burn out the lower small molecules, it's going to leave thicker, larger molecules behind, thickening up your viscosity and leading to having to change your oil more often. And of course, mineral oil freezes. It's full of paraffin waxes, and these waxes will freeze at -15 Celsius, as an example, well below zero Fahrenheit. And so AMSOIL, with no paraffins, no wax that's inherent to mineral oil, chemically derived, does not freeze. And essentially, AMSOIL's 20W50 Harley Davidson, air-cooled motorcycle oil won't freeze until -49, or was it -50 Celsius. And then, of course, their 0W30 or 020 won't freeze till like -58 Celsius. Can't remember the exact numbers, but something that you'll never have to deal with unless you're, I don't know, on space, or possibly in the Arctic at the coldest spots on Earth. And so yeah, there's cold temperature, pour point, high temperature resistant to volatility, and of course extended drain intervals, viscosity is maintained. It does not shear in your transmission like mineral oils will. And there's ASTM tests, American Society for Testing Materials, that reviews, and there's independent tests and studies funded by AMSOIL, paying an independent laboratory to do the blind testing with all its competitors' oils, and they've done this on gear lubes, they've done this on motor oils, diesel oils, greases, etc. And so like some myth, people think Lucas and Royal Purple is a great oil because it's highly marketed to the racing, motorsport, off-road world, etc. And unfortunately, these companies are putting all their money into marketing and really brutally screwing the customer over with actually a below average, sometimes far below average product. And then if you go to the Royal Purple or Lucas website, they'll actually trick the consumer. They'll show you an ASTM test. I don't have it in front of me, but they'll use a grease test, as showing the viscosity of a grease, which is often much thicker than an oil, as you can understand. And they'll show that, look at our oil, it's right up the chart, it's right off the top of the chart, one of the best, because it's high up on this grease wear test, this grease viscosity test, sorry. And then their competitors are below them. And the funny thing is, this test is actually, if you looked into it, it's proving that the Lucas or the Royal Purple is a terrible oil, because at initial viscosity it is thick like grease, and that is when the majority of engine wear occurs, is when you first start up your engine. The oil is at whatever outside ambient temperature, and it needs to be thin like water to get to the head instantly. If you don't get when you first start your engine, that you're going to have a few seconds before the oil is getting up to the head and lubricating around your cam lobes and etc. And creating obviously a little viscosity going to be on your piston rings on the cylinder walls, but to get it to the head, it takes extra time. And so that's why everybody's using these 030s, 020s, 520s. They want to get the oil to the head right away to reduce the initial engine wear, which is usually around 75% of your engine wear in old studies. And so you need it to be like water. I mean, of course, when there you have a company saying their oil is great, look how it is on the top of the charts, because it's thick as the initial viscosity. So initial viscosity is measured at 40 Celsius. Operating temperature viscosity is measured at 100 Celsius. And this is like your 5W30. The 30 is your operating temperature. The 5W is your initial viscosity. A lot of people don't even know what the numbers mean. So anyways, guys, just wanted to give you a little information as I came across AMSOIL doing a promo. You can go to amsoil.ca and use that promo code. You should sign up as a preferred customer, which means you get 25% off on your entire order before taxes. And to do that, they're going to ask you who your referral is. Referrals are mandatory. So my name is Marcel Irnie, and my referral number is 149-8529. That's 149-8525. You can also put my name, and if you spell it right, Marcel for Marcel. Irnie is Irnie, and my business phone number is 250-869-2515. So that's 250-869-2515. So any of those will work with your referral. I recommend it's really easy just to call AMSOIL, make sure you have no ordering mistakes. Often the phone representatives can help you with your order if you have any questions about AMSOIL makes oil filters, of course, specific to your vehicle, and the oil filters are far superior to Wix or Napa Gold, which is a Wix, or your OEM filter replacement, again made by Wix or Donaldson, etc. And they're just paper media, when AMSOIL has a nanofiber synthetic media. So the media is, the diameter of each strand is identical, as opposed to a paper filter where the diameter is going to be 5 microns, 10 microns, 20 microns. And what happens is, because of the media is not consistent, it's going to have areas that the oil won't flow through so well, and then there'll be paths of least resistance where the oil will follow the path of least resistance and then eventually block that path, and then really limiting the flow of your filter, and your filter is done as very short 5,000 K, when AMSOIL oil filters are guaranteed with a warranty for product liability, parts and labor replacement on if you follow their procedure. So if you have an issue and the full oil or the AMSOIL filter is at fault, AMSOIL will pay for the labor and parts, okay? And this covers on all vehicles that are non-modified. And so it's 15,000 miles or 24,000 kilometers on some of their filters, and some of the bigger filters are 25,000 miles or 42,000 kilometers or 1 year. So it's 15,000 miles or 25,000 miles or 1 year is the warranty on their oil filters, and much of their oil. A lot of their oil is Signature Series is guaranteed and warranted for 25,000 miles or 42,000 kilometers or 1 year or longer with oil analysis. And that's what I do on my trucks. My Duramax, my 2 LMM Duramax now has 67,000 miles on the same oil that I installed back when I bought the truck in, what was it, 2018. I've changed all the oils in my Duramax in 2018, from the diff, the transfer case, the transmission, the front diff, the engine oil, and I did the coolant and brake fluid and power steering as well. And I've never changed those fluids since. I just take an oil analysis per year. The oil analysis company I use is Oil Analyzers Incorporated. I also sell those oil analysis prepaid kits. They're, $38, and it's a lot cheaper than changing your oil and having all that downtime. Anyways, that's a lot of information for everybody. The 1-800 number is 1-800-777-7094. That's 1-800-777-7094. And again, just make your order, make an account, give them your name, phone number, address, and they'll ask you for your referral. And of course, it's Marcel Irnie, my phone number, or 149-8525. And they'll take care of you. And you're welcome to call me with any questions, or email Irnieracing at gmail.com. That's Irnieracing at gmail.com. Any questions? So anyways, guys, thanks for following along. There's some information. I don't really share too much. Usually just stick to the news, but I figured this reminded me with this promo code to get some information out. Just happened organically. Marcel Irnie, cheers.